Kuwait need to pick up their first win here against the Philippines to remain in the competition, and later today Palestine will look to secure top spot and maintain their 100% record in the competition as they take on Hong Kong. So looking at the table for the group, if Kuwait could get the win today, they would take the head-to-heads with the Philippines. But if Hong Kong lose later against Palestine, it would then be a three-way tie for the second and third spots in the group. That would come down to a points differential in games involving those three teams. The Philippines have an advantage in that sense. After a huge win over Hong Kong, Kuwait would then need a 20-plus point win here. Game day 3 of the 2015 FIBA Asia Championship here in Changsha. Kuwait back in the competition after a 6-year absence, still searching for their first win. They're running out of time, and today facing a Philippines team who responded to opening day agony with a huge win yesterday. Analyst Paul O'Kennedy alongside me, Tim Long. What can we expect from this contest here today?
Well, it shapes as a tough assignment for Kuwait, doesn't it? But as you said, where there's life, there's hope, and they are still a chance of progressing to the second stage of this tournament. Like you said, they need a big win today or other results to go their way, but it's a tough ask. I think the most important focus for them today is about improvement. You know, it was a 37-point defeat to Hong Kong on opening day. It was a really devastating result for them. They got within 21 points of Palestine on day 2, so there's been improvement today, though, with Andre Blatch leading the way for the Philippines. It's perhaps the toughest test of all in this group. For the Philippines, it's about doing the little things right. They failed that task on day 1 against Palestine as they coughed up a 16-point lead and fell late in the game. They bounced back against Hong Kong on day 2. The questions remain, you know, can they be dangerous from outside without settling for that outside shot? Can they get Blatch the ball inside often enough close to the basket where not many other defenders can stop him? And can their bench unit hold the fort while the starters have a rest? There's a few questions for them to work on today. We'll find out the answers to those questions later in the tournament, though.
The two sets of players introduced to the fans here in Changsha. First, we'll pause for the national anthems, starting with the Philippines.
So, please remain standing for the national anthem of Kuwait.
Kuwait have failed to qualify for each of the last 2 FIBA Asia Championships. Started with a 37-point loss to Hong Kong, then went down by 21 to Palestine yesterday. Today it's must win against the Philippines. Silver medalists on home soil 2 years ago, the second most successful nation in the history of the competition. Shocked by Palestine in their first ever game in the competition on the opening day, but then recovering in style with a 51-point win over Hong Kong yesterday. Alongside me, our expert analyst Paul O'Kennedy will take you through the rosters and the starting fives for each nation here on game day 3.
And as you talked about, the Philippines, the silver medalists, they bring back 5 or 6 players from that team. It's a well-known team. There's proven players at this level. You know, on the contrary with the Kuwait, you know, it's players who are making their way at this level. And, you know, some of them have stood up in this tournament. And the men to watch for me for Kuwait, you look at Mashiri Abu Dom, he's a 187 centimetre guard. He's averaging 15 points a game. He's scoring at 63% inside and 38% outside, which is highly impressive for a man of his size. His backcourt running mate is Hamad Hassan. He's averaging 12 points and 5 rebounds. He had 19 points against Palestine, and that's an impressive performance. We move across to the Philippines. We could talk about Andre Blatch. We could talk about Jason Castro. Those two have been stars already in this tournament. But as I mentioned earlier, the key is the bench for the Philippines. They've got players like Ganuelos, Abueva, and Ramiro, but that unit has struggled in the half court. And I think the key for them tonight is to make it happen with their defense. They're fast, they're athletic, get up, get into the passing lanes, and create scores that way.
One of the key talking points for us in this group has been the quality and the fitness of Blatch, and we expect him to develop and improve that fitness the longer the competition goes on. There's your officials for this contest from Kazakhstan, Jordan, and from Singapore. We're about to see the two rosters and the two starting fives.
We start with the Philippines and the starting, the stars there in Blatch, Norwood, Castro. They've done a great job so far in this tournament. We'll see the starting five in a moment. One thing that'll be interesting to watch today, how does Coach Tab Baldwin use his stars? How many minutes does he get them? As you said, the talking point is how fit are these guys? Does he use this game as a chance to run some fitness into them, given there's a day off tomorrow? Or is he all about keeping guys, particularly Blatch, Jason Castro, Hontiveros, Renadel Diocampo, who's been around for a number of years, does he want to keep them fresh for later on in the tournament, where they're probably going to have to carry some big minutes, given the lack of depth on the bench? And we'll have a look across at Kuwait. And we talked about their main men in the backcourt, Mashiri Abu Dom and Hamad Hassan, who have done an outstanding job. It's not easy when you don't have that big man support. But the key for them inside is going to be Abdullah Al-Shamari. He's struggled offensively. He's only shooting at about 13% from the field. But when you look at his his rebounding work, he's averaging 8 rebounds per game in 22 minutes. And that's a really impressive rebounding rate. And we see there 2 guards, 3 forwards in the starting lineup, and that gives you that idea about the lack of size they have. And I think with Blatch getting the ball down low, we're going to see a number of defenders swarming him, and they're going to test the Philippines out from the perimeter.
Well, we talk about the fitness improving of Andre Blatch as the competition develops, but the Philippines are, as a team, the oldest team in the tournament. 3 games in the space of 3 days, that might have an impact, and Kuwait will be ready to try and take advantage of it.
And that was a big factor in day one, and Coach Baldwin admitted it, that with them 16 points in front, he felt his team was under control and he rested his starters, and that just opened the door a little bit, and Palestine came barging through in style in one of the greatest upsets in this tournament's history. So let's see how he goes about it today. What's the point where he feels comfortable that this game is in hand?
2 sets of players have been introduced to the fans in Changsha, China. We've been through the rosters and the starting fives. The only thing left to do is to play the game here. Kuwait knowing that there is no room for error for them now on their return to the competition if they want to keep their journey going.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?
We're already in China for the first game in Group B on game day 3 at the 2015 FIBA Asia Championship. Myself, Tim Long, alongside analyst Paul O'Kennedy, ready to talk you through the action here in Changsha. Kuwait hoping to keep their return to the competition alive with what would be a big upset on the final day of the first round. But remember, the Philippines, reigning silver medal holders, have already suffered a shock defeat on this court just 2 days ago. Will there be another big story in Group B? Or will the Philippines be firing on all cylinders again? Kuwait win the opening tip, but push it out of bounds. Philippines ball.
And each game with the Philippines, we talk about establishing the inside presence early. It looks like man-to-man defense straight away from Kuwait. Let's see if they double-team the low block.
Straight into Blatch, who turns. Can't hit the shot. Norwood looking to grab the offensive board, backed it away into the air, and Kuwait come away with it. Hamad Hassan. They'll need a strong start, you feel, here. They don't want to let the Philippines build up a lead early on. And there's a foul here on Hontiveros.
That was a great execution of the hesitation dribble there from Hassan, and he snaked his way into the lane, and you can see how he scored 19 points yesterday.
Al-Jamar. Twisting and turning, moving it on. Shot clock down to 7 here. They're going to look to get to the foul line and put it up and put it in for Borhama. So the first points of the game scored by Kuwait.
We've seen some great individual skills just on that first possession, and they're going to put a little early challenge to the Philippines.
And that one from downtown good for the first points of the game for the Philippines. William on his jersey, but Jason Castro, he likes to be known. Here's Al-Hamidi. On to Al-Jamar again, he moves it on further. Shot clock winding down to the final 5 seconds again. Wide open is Al-Jamar for 3, and answers back with 1 for Kuwait.
We saw on that possession, Andre Blatch did not want to come out of the keyway. Some good execution from Kuwait. They found the open big man popping out to the top.
Blatch draws the attention, moves it out to the perimeter. Back-to-back threes for the Philippines as De Ocampo hits that one.
And speaking of big men who can shoot, Renadel De Ocampo, he's a prime-time shooter.
The Philippines trying for one of their own again, tipped in by Borhama, and he's got 4 early points. Really fast scoring start to this one. That would have been 3 in a row from downtown. It's going to be 3 foul shots instead as Castro puts it up, fouled by Hamed Hassan.
And Castro, of course, he's known for knifing his way to the hoop. He's known as the blur. But the game yesterday, he was 5 of 6 from 3-point range, and he's carried that confidence into today.
10 points in 19 minutes on game day 1, and then 21 points in just 18 minutes yesterday. Those 5 3-pointers, 7 of 9 from the field altogether for the number 7. And we're level at 7 here after 2 minutes. And Castro will give the Philippines the slender lead. And there's still 1 more to come. Unable to get them all to drop, so the Philippines lead by 2, and Castro has 6 of their 9 points. Al-Hamidi to bring the ball over half court, under pressure, turning into trouble. The Philippines with the steal, and going for the big finish was Gabe Norwood, and Hamed Hassan did just about enough to deny him, but he'll have a chance to earn them from the line.
In the pre-game, we talked about, as we see the aggressive trap here from Castro, we talked about the Philippines bench perhaps being a little more aggressive defensively, but we see it right from the first 2 minutes.
He's really looking for the emphatic finish here. And Hamed Hassan picking up his 2nd foul. We've got a timeout after only a couple of minutes. The Philippines leading 9-7. And the Kuwait head coach Khaled Youssef wants to talk a few things through, and there'll be free throws when we come back for Gabe Norwood. Six points in a minute and a half for Jason Castro. A 3 for De Ocampo as well, as the Philippines up 9-7. And they'll look to extend that lead from the foul line. Kuwait just need to hang around in this one, you feel. They've almost got through the first hurdle, which was don't give up a run to the Philippines in the opening couple of minutes.
And that's what Palestine did, you know, in the day 1, they hung around. You know, they were down by 16, but they just kept the scoreboard ticking over, and they put that little bit of doubt in the Philippines' mind. I think a concerning sign for Tab Baldwin would be the lack of defensive intensity. You know, the execution's been good from Kuwait, as Norwood makes the first, but there hasn't been a lot of disruptive defense out there, and they need to pick that up. They don't want to let this be a game that drags on into the second half, into the 4th quarter, because as they know, that's when upsets happen.
Norwood will be happy to get a couple of points on the board early on in this one. From the foul line, he was 0 of 5 from the field yesterday. Here's Hassan. playing on those 2 early fouls, bringing the ball over half court. Looking to throw the ball up. Al-Jamar thinks twice about it, goes around to this side to Hassan. Nice bounce pass. Blatch cutting off the route to the rim, and they throw it away.
And that time they decided to attack Blatch inside. He's holding his ground like an anchor in the keyway. Had that pass been on the money, that was another wide open 3.
Philippines lead by 4 and a chance to extend it. Over to De Ocampo. Across to Hontiveros, into Blatch now. Blatch looking for a bit of movement, then going to attack the baseline himself, and is fouled by Al Said.
And we saw the defensive focus there from Kuwait. As Blatch rolled to the basket, we had both Hassan and Al Said rotating back in. One defender on each side of him, making the Philippines kick it out to the corner.
Inbound pass from Hontiveros. There goes Castro again, back out to Norwood for 3. Can't hit that one, and they're able to recover the defensive board with Borhama. Al Said. Trapped here, and another turnover. Recovered, in fact, by Kuwait on half court. Al Said puts up the 3. Off the broken play, gets them within 1.
This Kuwait team, they've got natural ballers in their lineup. You know, you give them that opening, they've got the skills to make you pay.
So we've played over 3 minutes, and Kuwait have kept it to just a 1-point game. That 3 off the mark as Al Said grabs a rebound.
You see, on each half-court possession, Al-Jamar for Kuwait just telling his teammates, slow it down, let's execute, let's make the Philippines work.
Here is Al-Jamar. Now Al-Hamidi into the paint. Chance to turn, chance to maybe take the lead. Denied by Blatch. And then the foul on half-court by Hassan. That would be his 3rd.
And what looked initially like a smart foul to slow the break, that's going to cost them, because Hassan's playmaking in these first 4 minutes has been precise. He's been getting his teammates some good looks.
There's the rejection from Blatch. Getting up to deny his opposite number, Borhama. The 3 from Al Said that's got them within 1. Nice pirouette move towards the hoop, and a very pretty finish from De Ocampo. Abu Dom. Now Al-Jamar. Hands the ball off here to Al-Hamidi. High over Blatch this time. Difficult shot to execute. The Philippines can come on the fast break here with Castro. Nobody faster than him. They lead by 5.
And I think any defense would prefer to see Jason Castro shooting 3-pointers than streaking to the basket in the open court. He's unstoppable in that situation.
Abu Dom. He's going to shoot the long 3-pointer. It's well short. Hand in his face from Blatch. And after that positive start, Kuwait within 1 at 10-11, now 10-15, and the Philippines a chance to extend it towards the midway point of the first quarter.
You know Coach Baldwin doesn't feel comfortable here. He's still got the starters in, and there's good reason for that. You know, Kuwait have looked good here, and I love their defensive strategy. There's a clear strategy there, rotate, recover. They're all of a similar height, so they can switch screens and they can rotate and then switch men wherever they need to.
Norwood to Blatch. On the perimeter, he's going to look to pirouette in between the 2 and gets fouled by Al-Jamar, and will go to the line for 2.
A heavy foul there from Al-Jamar, and again that signals the intentions. No easy shots inside for Blatch. We saw him at the start of that game against Palestine on day 1. He had his way with them inside, driving to the left, finishing to the right, and they're going to make him earn it from the free throw line.
He was sort of bulldozing his way through that Palestine defence, and just a hint there, moving slightly quicker perhaps, starting to pick up the pace.
Well, it's all about timing for Andre Blatch. He's got to be at his best deep in the tournament. Once you get to those knockout rounds in the top 8, the quarterfinals, there's no room to be tired. You've just got to get out there for 40 minutes and make things happen.
Plenty of ring rust for Andre Blatch at the moment. He misses the free throws. Knocked away by the Philippines, going for the steal. And they're able to get it off Pohama.
I think Hontiveros is one of the real keys for the Philippines. You know, he's shooting the three-pointer well, he's active defensively, he gets on the boards, and I think he gives that little level of athleticism that a lot of the other teams don't have at the wing position.
Blatch driving inside again. And there's a bit more of that quickness starting to improve and a chance at a three-point play.
I'll definitely agree with you on that one. That was a quick first step. He was out on the three-point line, he lulled them to sleep, and then just one dribble and he's at the basket.
He's still certainly far from at his best. He's looking to shake off a bit of the sluggishness. And he's starting to have an impact here in game 3. Missed his free throws last time. This one would complete a three-point play and give them an 8-point lead if he could make it. And he makes no mistake, third time lucky.
Just getting towards a little danger period here, Kuwait. They're struggling with this full court pressure. We talked earlier that they wanted to be composed, and this is forcing them into a fast game.
Al-Jamar misses after getting between two Philippine defenders, and now they can come and look to make it a double-digit game with Romeo from the outside, passes up the three, receives it back inside from Blatch under the hoop, back out to the perimeter, back inside again to De Ocampo, twisting towards the baseline, lovely footwork but can't finish.
Lovely footwork, lovely offense. How about the ball movement? That's trademark Philippines basketball. It came to one side, dribble drive along the baseline, and then a full ball reversal to the other side before they got the shot.
There's pressure high up the court from the Philippines again as they look to force a steal. Al Saeed, as they play out of it, nice move from him, and he'll go to the line for 2.
Some genuine athleticism on that move, but I hark back to earlier in the game when Al-Jamar, every possession, slow down, and all of a sudden that message from the coach has been lost as the quarter's worn on, and I think that's worked in the favour of the Philippines.
And they've burst into an 8-point advantage, although Kuwait will try and cut it down from the foul line here with Abdullah Al Saeed. 9 points and 4 boards in game 1, 8 points and 6 boards yesterday. And he's had an impact at the start of this one as well. Able to hit there and reduce the deficit. Romeo looking to move it to the corner, faked the pass, went inside and got the contact.
There's a playground move there from Romeo. He shook him with the pass fake. We talked yesterday about that. So often he gets to the basket and he misses those makeable shots. You know, a player like Castro who got that deep, he probably makes the layup and he's there for the bonus free throw now.
The number 11 has 11 points in each game so far, but just 7 of 29 from the field.
Yeah, and as a point guard, if you're driving in, you know, the point guard so often is the safety on defense for transition. If he's attacking the basket, missing those shots, that's opening up the back door of your defense.
He makes both of his free throws, his first 2 points here today.
We see the Philippines line up 2 benchmen in. We saw on day 1 when they had 4 or 5 bench players in together, they really struggled to create offensively. So Tad Baldwin mixing up his lineup between the starters and the reserves today.
Al-Jamar goes back to Abu Dom. They're slowing it down again, starting to direct traffic, look a little more meticulously. Al-Jamar tries to get inside, shot clock only with 3 left though, they've got to put it up. Difficult shot hanging over Blatch and it won't go. Here come the Philippines looking to quicken the pace. Held up across to Romeo. He's going to look to drive into the paint. Again, got close to the rim but missed the shot.
We saw on that last possession that the finger roll rimmed out, but because they'd made the defense work for 24 seconds, it enabled their transition to get back, and the Philippines busted out, but there were 4 Kuwaiti players back inside the 3-point line to slow them down. 3
minutes and 37 seconds remaining in the first. The Philippines lead by 9, 20-11. And in comes Asi Taulava, the 42-year-old centre. Al Sayed to inbound to Abu Dom. Kuwait will try and eat into this deficit. Al Jamar. Up against Asi Taulava. The pass deflected away and into the hands of Norwood. And here comes Romeo. Oh, rejection, but put back in by Calvin Abueva, who was following up the play.
I'm sure he could hear footsteps there, the big footsteps of Al Jamar, and he had some serious intent about that block shot.
To no avail in the end. Bohama can't get the drop that time as it was bouncing on the rim. 11-point Philippines lead now, and here comes the number 11 going through the gears again. Al Jamar throwing himself up around the rim and trying to put up a defensive wall again.
It's fair to say these Kuwaiti players, they don't mind it getting physical, do they? We saw the tough drive at the other end by Bohama, and he's really impressed me. He's got 4 points and 3 boards already, and he's a guard. He doesn't mind taking it inside, though. And we see here, there he is committing the hard foul, making sure there wasn't a 3-point play.
Al Jamar trying to reject that one, actually swatted the rim.
I think the rim may have come off second best from that one. Al Jamar is a big unit.
He was taking no prisoners. And that's the way Kuwait have to play at the moment. Down by 11, needing to win.
Something that was working well for them earlier in the game, the pull-up jump shot. You know, when they got that space, ball rotation, couple of dribbles and hit it. Just as the quarters gone on, we've seen them a lot more jumping into the defense at the rim, trying to create that, and that's where the height advantage of the Philippines comes to the fore.
Mark Pingris at the line, only a few seconds in the game so far, misses the first foul shot. And Kuwait will take anything they can get right now. Any miss is a good miss, and he does miss them both.
Some good hustle there from Abueva. And we talk about the energy that the bench players from the Philippines have to bring. And he may be a swingman, Abueva, but he's got that physique and athleticism that allows him to play bigger than his size.
Pingris into Taulava, back to Pingris. He missed them both from the foul line, but he gets the 2.
That's a nice soft touch from Pingris, and he started the tournament in the starting 5. He's been demoted, but play like that will make sure he keeps getting some minutes.
Final 2.5 minutes of the first. Here's Al Hamidi. Al Jamar looking to twist away from Taulava, fades away but can't hit the shot. Norwood across to Romeo on the far side, takes the 3 and knocks down the 3.
And he was hot on opening night. He hit 3 of 8. It wasn't such a happy story for him from the perimeter on day 2, but he'll be happy to get his stroke going early here today.
And we've questioned his shooting in this tournament before that one, but 2 of 2 from downtown. There's a miss from 3-point range for Kuwait, and here comes Romeo again. And it goes towards Abueva, chance at a 3-point play as he puts it in, and now it's becoming a real concern for Kuwait.
And they call Abueva the beast, and we see him here using his physicality just to push his defender out of his way. Didn't have to use his arms, just the strength of his hips and his core strength, and then he finishes through the contact. I think you look at Philippines basketball, and Tab Baldwin teams are traditionally quite structured. The Philippines basketball, not so much. And the key for them in this tournament is getting the balance between those 2 styles. And I like the fact that Abueva there could make an improvised play. He saw the opportunity and he just took it.
Grabs his own rebound as well. Can't get it to drop, looking for another one. And in the end, Kuwait come away with it.
Hassan back into the game, and things have gone south for Kuwait since he went out with his 3rd foul, and it's a brave substitution to get him back in, but they need his playmaking.
Now Saeed, picked off by Taulava, the 42-year-old comes up with a steal. He's looking to go all the way, and he'll go to the line, so close to a 3-point play.
He won't put that one in his career highlights reel, but he almost got it to drop.
Do you put it in the stats as a fast break? I'm not sure.
And looking at Hassan, he's only 18 years old. And you think about his start to this game, the way he was picking apart the Philippines defense. He's got a big future in front of him. And I think it's important here that Kuwait get the ball in his hands as much as possible, because he reads the rotating defense and he makes the right pass.
Taulava at the line to try and take the Philippines over the 30-point mark in the first quarter. In and out and back in again. 7.3 points per game, 6.3 rebounds a game across 3 major international FIBA tournaments. He played at this tournament back in 2007 and still going strong at the age of 42 and able to get them both from the foul line. It's a 20-point Philippines lead. The scoring has really dried up for Kuwait the longer the first quarter has gone on. Abu Dom, only one thought in his mind it seems as he looks to attack, looking for a good shot and called for a travel.
And that's some really good defense from Mark Pingras. Abu Dom, he's a scorer. He's averaging 15 points per game in the tournament. He thought he had the mismatch there, but Pingras stayed in front of him and forced the travel.
Final minute of the first quarter. Kuwait hit a three-pointer to get within one at 10-11. It's a 21-1 Philippines run. They have it over on the far side with Ganguelas and then put it by Abueva. Batted into the air, but straight to Taulava.
I think early in the game, the energy players, they were being won by Kuwait. You know, the Philippines defense was passive, was allowing open shots, it was reactive. And now what we see in those contested ball situations, it's two or three Philippine players in there getting hands on the loose balls and getting their team that extra possession.
Hassi Taulava back at the line. Had 10.3 points and 7.1 boards at that tournament back in 2007 in his previous Asia Championships appearance. He was an old player then, really, at the age of 34, and he's still playing 8 years later. Looking for another steal, and there's just no joy at the moment for Kuwait. The body language and the facial expressions aren't good.
It's that trapping defense from the reserve unit. See Abueva and Ganguelas up the court. They're both athletic and long, and that's a nightmare for reserve point guards who are usually playing late in the quarter.
Hassan is in the game on 3 fouls. And there's a foul off the ball, an offensive foul.
I think that's been called on El Shamari. We talked about him in the preview. He doesn't look like the most athletic player on the court, but he's averaging almost 8 boards per game in 22 minutes, so we'll see what he can do in this game.
Romeo through the gears again. Can't finish. Kuwait come away with it. The shot clock turned off at the end of the quarter. Knocked away, another steal for the Philippines. Romeo throwing it up there. They can't get it to drop. Looking for the highlight reel play. Now Shamari comes down the other end. Still seconds to get the shot away for Kuwait. They can't finish. There's still time for the Philippines, especially with this man on the ball. Romeo bursting away to finish at the buzzer and put the finishing touches on a hugely impressive opening quarter for the Philippines. It took them a while to get going. Leading 11-10, they finished the quarter with a 23-1 run, and Kuwait are down and very nearly out.
And we saw at the FIBA Basketball World Cup last year in Spain that when the Philippines played their basketball, they're a handful for even some of the best teams in the world. And it's a lesson that Kuwait learnt in a hurry. Early on in the game, we thought, you know, Kuwait have passed the first test, the game's on their terms. All of a sudden, the Philippines lifted the energy, and that's the key to their game. Look at some of the statistics there, the foul call, and that's the Philippines. They've drawn 12 fouls in a quarter, and that's them going to the basket and putting that pressure on. And then we talk about the pressure defense. 8 turnovers from Kuwait. And don't the Philippines look great when they get in the open court after those?
Talk about them being the oldest team in the competition. They still have plenty of energy, plenty of players who can run. And the 3 knocked down by Al-Jamar early on in that. Borhama had 4 early points for Kuwait. I just wonder how long it's been since they had a field goal because they've only scored 1 point in a long time now. And Castro leading the way for Philippines with 8 points. The injection of pace for coach Tab Baldwin's team again. They've got 7 points from Romeo. Talk about pace, and 3 for Blatch as well, 5 for De Ocampo. The big rejection from Al Jamar, but they still were able to finish that time with the follow-up from Abueva, who's got 4 points. Could be a long afternoon for Kuwait.
We see dropping back into a 2-3 zone here. I think Kuwait will like that. It will give an opportunity to execute as they were earlier in the contest.
Defensive stop to start the second quarter, and then a foul in transition.
And just as I said that, Romeo, it looked like he was dropping back in that zone defense. All of a sudden, he's out in the passing lane, and it's a great test. It's, you know, basketball fundamentals for Kuwait. Can they absorb this physical pressure and still execute their offense?
Romeo, Taulava, hands it off to Canhuelas. He lost the handle on the ball, had it knocked away. And here comes Kuwait in transition, looking for their first field goal in a long time, and they're still not able to get it, but they will go to the line.
When you're struggling in the half court, you've got to lift the defense. It's the easiest way to get a basket is force some turnovers, get out and run. And couldn't be more difficult in the half court for Kuwait at the moment. It would be a good time for them to mix up their defense a little bit. We saw a half trap down in that last set. I'd like to see them go about it with a bit more aggression. You know, they're 23 points down. You know, if you give up a couple of easy baskets, it's not going to matter. But if you create some turnovers, you create a little bit of momentum for yourself, and maybe they can get back into the game.
Mashari Al-Shamari well short with the first free throw. A little bit closer with the second one, but misses them both. And at the other end, Asi Taulava, the 42-year-old, still continues to score.
And that's just not going to get the job done, that sort of defense. But I like this matchup now. Hassan back into the game against the zone. He's directing traffic. I'd love to see a ball screen for him. Let him get into the heart of the defense and create.
Playing on those 3 fouls, moves it on to Al Said. Al Said further on to Al Shamari, knocked away. They're able to recover it. They've got to put it up though. Almost went down off the glass, and Philippines come away with it. Abueva into Taulava, looking for back-to-back field goals, denied this time. Still has the ball, knocked away, out of bounds, Filipino possession.
And given the lack of size for Kuwait, Taulava, he's the biggest, baddest man on the court, and he's loving that fact. Watch him on every possession. He motors down the court and he plants himself in the key way. He says, give me the ball, let me finish. And he's keen on scoring some points today.
He's back at the line and missing that one. 3 of 5 from the foul line now, Taulava.
Coming into this game, he'd only scored 2 points. And he's up to 5 already, and I think he's going to be putting the foot down, trying to use that bulk of his to get a few more on the board.
He misses that one as well. They get the offensive board though, and they will be back at the line with Pingris. And he's a key player for the Philippines, Taulava, because he has to relieve Andre Blatch. We've talked about his lack of fitness.
That's spot on, and he and Pingris are really important. They've got to provide that steady presence, the defense, the screens offensively. And you look at that offensive board from Pingris, that's 8 already for the Philippines. Early in the game, Kuwait did a good job cleaning the defensive glass, but as it's worn on, the Philippines starting to wear them down.
They're going to be back at the line here as Al Shamari picks up his second foul. It's Romeo who has 7 points in the game so far. Hit both of his free throws on his first trip. The officials have a bit of sorting out to do first. Not sure what they're discussing here.
I think there may have been a technical foul called in there, and they're discussing which shots will come first. Romeo went up to the line. but I think Pingris is going to have to take his 2 free throws first.
Misses the first one. He's 0 of 3 from the foul line. The discussion's going on the Philippines bench as well. Taulava and Coach Baldwin. Pingris misses them both, and he's clearly upset with himself.
And quite remarkably, the Philippines have shot 21 free throws already. They've only made 11, and we saw with Chinese Taipei on the opening day, free throws can cost you games, and in their case, it's cost them perhaps progression to the second round of the tournament.
And that one's off the mark from Romeo as well. So they missed 3 in a row. Pingris 0 of 4 from the field after his 2 misses. Romeo, having hit his first 2, misses that one. Possession with the Philippines though after the technical foul. He finds Taulava, tries to flip it up high and drop it in, looking to grab the rebound as well, knocked away and out of bounds, still Philippines ball.
We talked in the pre-game, the aim today for the Philippines is improvement and getting the little things right. And so many, their hustle today has been good, but they're missing free throws. We see Taulava there getting a nice feed inside from Romeo, but not finishing it off. And these are the sort of plays, they've got to get them right going into the second stage of the tournament and then the knockout rounds.
Gamwelas getting ready to inbound the ball. They get a shot away right off the side of the backboard from Abueva. Kuwait still waiting for that field goal. Still hoping to stop the drought. They can't that time. Another miss. Get it back in the corner. And a miss from the outside. Here comes Abueva bursting away. And able to provide a big Filipino finish.
Some worrying signs for Kuwait. We saw Al-Jamar earlier in the game committing those tough fouls, not giving up the basket. That time he just let Abueva go and throw one down.
Al-Jamar gives it away, and Abueva coming forward again. The beast is back in business.
And once again, Al-Jamar just stepping out of the way. And it seems as if the spirits of Kuwait have dropped and the Philippines are running away with this one.
I think the admin staff will be hovering their mouse over the pay now button for the flights. And probably clicking.
Quite possibly, although they do have some classification games to play. I think those are important games. You know, you get to play against teams of a similar standard. You really get to see where you stand. Obviously, it's a big ask for Kuwait coming up against the Philippines. Palestine with a stunning win on opening day, but not every day can be an upset, and it really has kicked the Philippines into action. So a great chance in the following classification games for Kuwait to work on some of the lessons that they'll be learning today. And I think a big one is, you know, basketball is so process-driven. It's possession by possession, and you've got to stick to the things you do well every possession. And what the Philippines are doing well at the moment is pressuring defensively and running hard the other way. And a lot of the time it's Abueva making things happen. And if it's not him, it's Romeo.
The dunk from Abueva followed shortly by a layup. 4 quick 5 points to take him to 8. They've got another steal here. And they will put it in with JC Intal, who gets his first score of the game.
That's 9 Philippines players on the scoreboard already. We've only played about 13 minutes of action.
Al-Jamar. Abu Don. Across to the far side. Al-Said almost picked off. Al-Jamar able to gather it. Across to the near side. And a foot on the line, so another turnover. Another basket for the Philippines, and the lead continues to grow. 33 now the advantage. And this is some run. Another miss for them. It's a 33-1 run.
Yeah, it's been impressive. I mean, we can talk about the deficiencies of Kuwait, but this is a powerful Philippines unit. And what they've got to do today, you know, they've got to get into their style. This is their style. If they're aggressive, running the ball, dishing it off, dunking the ball, well, that one doesn't go. But when they're playing with that sort of flair, Philippines basketball is amongst the best in Asia.
Andre Blatch missing the open dunk. Across to the far side, they'll take on another shot. No, they won't. They'll drive inside, and they miss the layup. And here comes Blatch down court, playing the pass towards Norwood, a travel court.
And so frustrating for Kuwait. You know, the opportunities they do get at the moment aren't dropping. And at the start of the game, they were making some tough shots. They were finishing off around the hoop. And that gave them life. It gave oxygen to their offense. It gave energy to their defense. And right now, their body language is anything but positive.
Here they come trying to end that drought. And finally, they do. It's their first score in about 10 minutes. Blatch. Over to the far side now. Philippines looking to attack with Intel, puts up the long two and can't hit.
Intel looking aggressive. It's a great opportunity for him to show what he can do. You know, get some points on the board, contribute defensively, and give his coach a little bit of confidence to put him in the game when the second stage starts on Sunday.
De Campo. Back to the perimeter here to Castro. Castro back out to the outside to Norwood, across to the far side. And spin move for De Campo, trying to get closer to the basket. And a foul call.
Team Kuwait on the 32nd personal foul. Substitution. Team Kuwait.
That's 17 fouls already this quarter on Kuwait. And we're only 5 minutes in. And it's just that pressure that the Philippines are putting on the rim. And when your motivation drops a little, as the Kuwaitis have here, the thing that drops away first is your transition defense.
First one good from the line for De Campo. The Philippines inevitably will hit the half-century mark before the half. We're only halfway through the second quarter. Bohama. Al Saeed looking to drive inside, moves it over to the far side. They'll try the three. And 2 field goals in quick succession as Abu Dom knocks it down.
Yeah, and Abu Dom is a scorer. And it'd be great to see them get him some more opportunities. I'd like to see them use the ball screen a bit more. Early in the game, that was shaking up the zone defense from the Philippines. At the moment, they're relying on too much one-out stuff.
Blatch looking to bank it in, grabs his own rebound. Then looking to bulldoze his way to the hoop. Had a quick look across at the official. No foul. And they go to the baseline again. They'll attack Blatch, and it's knocked away out of bounds, I think, of De Campo.
And we saw it, just one simple ball screen there at the top of the zone defense. 2 passes, and it was a wide open shot. It was probably ill-advised from El Shamari to take it in against Blatch. I think he needs to shoot the open jumper.
Did recover slightly yesterday, 2 of 4 from the field. And after 0 of 10 in game 1. They put that one in right at the end of the shot clock with Bohama.
And again, some really nice team offense. A quick ball reversal, you know, a ball fake, you know, shot fake to throw the defense, and finds the open man in the corner.
De Campo. Back to Castro, who pulls it for the 3. Can't hit. Kuwait have scored 8 points in just a couple of minutes. You want to try and add to that here with the 3. Another one for Abu Dom. Back-to-back threes for him. And Kuwait finding a run for the first time in the game.
I was about to say that Kuwait looked good when Abu Dom and Bohama are involved, and they share the ball again. This time it's Abu Dom splashing it from the 3-point line. And look at that pass from Al Saeed, finding his shooter on the money, in rhythm. And it's amazing how much more often that shot goes down when the shooter catches it in rhythm.
Before the back-to-back threes for Abu Dham, he'd only taken one shot in the game.
Yeah, and for a guy averaging 15 points per game, you'd think he'd be out here saying, I'm playing against the Philippines, they're the reigning silver medalists, they were a revelation at the World Cup last year. Here's a chance for me to show what I can do against a world-class opponent.
Yeah, give me the ball and let me shoot. It might just be that philosophy now as he hits back-to-back threes. And 6 quick-fire points makes him the second leading scorer in the game for Kuwait. They've scored as many points in the last couple of minutes as they scored in the first 15.
Yeah, that's right. And I think the great quote from Mike Tyson was, everyone's got a plan until you get punched in the face. And Kuwait's plan early on was excellent. They executed it well. And then the pressure defense from the Philippines was that blow to the face. And it's taken them until now to recover and come up with plan B. But it's looking good.
They were certainly shaken. There, Campo. And the Philippines continue to throw those big blows.
Dio Campo's an important player for the Philippines. We saw him nail the triple earlier. In Manila 2 years ago, he shot 42% from three-point range, and that was one of the keys to them getting the silver medal.
Al-Jamar across to the far side, high catch. Reeled in by Al Saeed. Al-Jamar now in the paint. Trying to pass it through right to the end of the shot clock now. They'll have to attack, they'll have to put it up. And they won't get it to go. Castro. They're going to drive inside the Philippines here with Intel, who's got 6 points quickly after coming into the game. Now Blatch going to take on the three. Can't hit there. It's back with Dare Campo after the offensive board. Passing towards Blatch from Intel, picked off, and then a foul.
Intel looking confident out there. Perhaps earlier in the tournament he's been second-guessing himself a little bit. Now, he's not going to play a major role later in the tournament, but at some stage when there's foul trouble or there might be an injury or even just a change is needed, Tab Baldwin might be able to insert him into the game, and he's going to need him to have this same level of confidence against a higher-ranked opponent.
Yeah, 6 points and 5 points in the first 2 games for JC Intel. He's got 6 points coming in just 4.5 minutes to this one, off 3 of 4 shooting. Bohama looking to get away from Blatch, over to the far side. Abu Dham with another 3. Make it 3 from downtown for him.
And there's that combination again, Bohama and Abu Dham, and what a behind-the-back dribble into the paint, and then the left-handed feed to hit the shooter.
Castro, final 2 minutes of the half. There's that lightning-fast crossover again, and a foul on Bohama.
Team boy number 1, third personal foul. Substitution. Team Kuwait.
Jason Castro at the line looking to add to his 8 points, a chance to move into double figures, and would become the first Filipino into double figures today.
And he can break a deadlock. It's 14 apiece so far this quarter. And after that end to the first quarter where it looked like the Philippines were going to blow this game wide open, Kuwait have been able to stop the leak and get the game back on their terms.
Yeah, the lead was 33 for the Philippines. Now at 24. They have 49 at the moment, not updated on the bottom of your picture. Looking to attack now Kuwait, getting to the basket. Blatch comes away with the rebound. Moves it forward to Norwood, who hangs it up there. And a pretty finish from JC Intel, who continues to flourish.
And Gabe Norwood, he's a man who can do a little bit of everything. He's an unselfish player, sometimes a little bit too unselfish for this team, but that was a nice feed for the alley-oop.
Final minute of the first half. Across to Abu Dham. He's hit his last 3 in a row from downtown. The number 4 takes on a 4th and can't hit that one. A travel called as the Philippines look to come away on the fast break.
And so often Castro is too quick for his opponents, and for once his feet were too quick for himself.
There's the alley-oop. JC Intel, 8 points of 4 of 5 shooting off the bench in 5.5 minutes in this quarter. Abu Dham throws it straight into the hands of Blatch. And here comes the blur down court again. Bounce pass to Norwood, who puts it in.
Give and you shall receive. And that time it's Norwood's opportunity to finish the fast break. And he's such a smooth athlete when he elevates to the basket.
53 points in the half for the Philippines. It's been an all guns blazing display from them again. Kuwait looking to finish with a basket here. Nice move that to get to the hoop and get it to drop there for Al-Shamari.
And Al-Shamari, he's certainly been aggressive. He's been shooting the ball at 14% coming into this game, but that hasn't stopped him from getting them up, especially here in the second quarter.
Blatch going to shoot the long three right at the end of the half. Offensive board and banked in by Ranadal de Ocampo at the buzzer. The Filipino flourish continues. 55 points in the half. And a whole bunch of them closing in on double figures. 9 points now for De Ocampo. 9 for Jason Castro. 8 apiece for Abueva and for Intel. 7 for Romeo. They're spreading the scoring around. They're doing it from all areas. And at the half, it's Kuwait 27, the Philippines 55.
Well, we talked about Kuwait stopping the damage late in that second quarter, and then they just let it slip. Just late in the quarter, we see 23% from two-point range, and that just speaks to the size disadvantage that Kuwait have. And the rebounding stats there, 12 offensive rebounds for the Philippines, just 3 for Kuwait. And they'd be happy with that. It was 7 turnovers to none at quarter time. It's now 12 to 5, so a better quarter in that regard from Kuwait. And we look at Abu Dom with 9 points, 3 of them from long range. His counterpart at the point guard position, Jason Castro, he's got 9 as well. I see De Ocampo joining him on 9, and he's done a little bit of everything today. Offensive rebounds, three-pointer, block shots. And Tawalaba, he's been enjoying himself out there. He's got 7 boards, and Abueva's got 6, and he's been using that either offensive rebounds or cleaning the defensive glass and then sparking the fast break.
It was a decent start for Kuwait. They were down by just 1 at 10 to 11, but then what a burst by the Philippines. A 33-1 run. That has to be the most impressive run of this tournament so far, I imagine, as Abueva had 4 quick-fire points there with one of the highlight reel plays. That gave them a 33-point lead after that run. Kuwait reduced it down to around 24, but at the half it's a 28-point differential. Andre Blatch has 3 points, but only 1 of 6 from the field. Missed an open dunk. And Abu Dom was the man who started that spurt to get them a little closer.
That combination between Bohama and Abu Dom, and hopefully we'll see a bit more of that in the second half.
At half-time, Kuwait 27, the Philippines 55. Join us for the second half in around 10 minutes' time.
国际男生全球合作伙伴即刻来看play。每一滴汗水，为你满意的选择；每一次专注，呵护你所有的幸福；每一次分手，都有我始终如一的品质追求。用心付出，放心收获。用心自然好。湖南粮食集团。一双有你，吉祥有寿，让人人都拥有健康养老保障。千亿央企，百强文化。文化集团遍及全球，拥有百家海外企业，经历20载深耕，筑起携手，繁荣发展，布局全国。爱运动，就要爱国际队。2015国际版碾压竞赛考服力长线赞助商。爱国际队，新一代国际全球影响性。爱运动，就要爱国际队。2015国际版碾压竞赛考服力长线赞助商。爱国际队，新一代国际全球影响性。湖南建工集团，湖南省首家房屋建筑工程总承包，科技资讯企业集团。连续12年入选中国企业500强，连续16年荣获70项中国建设工程5冠奖，致力打造成为集项目投资、运作、实施和经营能力于一体的总服务商，国内建筑业先锋企业。为国家经济和社会发展做出更大的贡献。
Welcome back to Changsha, where the Philippines have a 28-point advantage at the start of the second half over Kuwait. Went on a huge 33-1 run at one point in that first half. And Kuwait, who were facing a must-win game here to stay in the competition, have no chance of that, barring an absolute miracle. The Philippines have shown a huge response after a big shock defeat on the opening day against Palestine, coming back now looking for back-to-back big wins and looking to move forward with some momentum into the latter stages of the competition.
And just having a look at Tab Baldwin's huddle there with the Philippines team, he's still intense. I mean, he's rarely a relaxed coach on the sidelines, but he's diagramming the play. He's serious. He knows this is preparation for the second round of the tournament, which starts on Sunday.
The Philippines have done a very good job of spreading all their scoring around through the first half. Kuwait have struggled. They've got 9 from Abu Dom, who hit 3 of 5 from downtown, 7 from Bohama. Philippines 9 from Castro, 9 from De Ocampo, 8 apiece from Abueva and from Intel, who was 4 of 5 from the field in 7 minutes in that second quarter. The Philippines will look for the first score of the third with Norwood. Back to Castro. Castro looking to burst with so much energy. Went through the gears and turned on the afterburners and becomes the first player into double figures.
What an incredible move from Castro at his height to elevate up to rim level and finish.
Al-Jamar trying from the outside, misses the 3. Norwood with the rebound. Philippines will pull up for a 3 of their own and knock it down, and the lead will grow even more as Hontiveros scores from the outside.
Hontiveros shooting at 42% from long range coming into this game. And as I said earlier, that shooting is going to be a key to getting the defense away from the likes of Blatch and Castro.
Al-Jamar moves it on to Al-Said. Back to Al-Jamar on the perimeter. Shot clock down to 5 here. Al-Said puts it up from downtown. Blatch had a hand in his face. They get the offensive board though, and I'm not sure Coach Baldwin will be happy about that.
No, but Hassan slipping in there. He's a high IQ player. I can't believe he's only 18 years of age, and it was no coincidence that when he went off with foul trouble, that's when the Philippines run start. Let's see if he can get back on track in this third quarter.
Castro is going to pull up for the 3 now and knocks that one down too. 5 points at the start of the third quarter in about a minute and a half for Castro.
We've had a tech foul called here. Maybe on Ranadel De Ocampo. In fact, it's on Andre Blatch by the look of it. Tab Baldwin mystified on the sidelines. Blatch also looks a little bemused about the goings-on.
It sends Hamad Hassan to the line. And he hits, and it's possession Kuwait.
And he's got 3 points, 4 fouls. Now, that doesn't really summarise the potential he's shown today, and I just think it's so exciting for Kuwaiti basketball to have a young point guard at that level. We see so many international teams with naturalised point guards from the USA, and to have a local player with his promise, that's a great sign.
Al-Said to the corner. And Shamari back to the 18-year-old who's looking to get inside and fouled by Hontiveros.
I'd like to see Hassan and Abu Dom on the court together. They're the 2 leading scorers. They're combining for about 27 points per game. We saw the combination between Bohama and Abu Dom. Perhaps a 3-guard front. You know, the playmaking and the shooting between those 3 guys. That's something they could look to heading towards the classification game.
Al-Said and then Al-Shamari, another young player, just 22. Looking to spin away Al-Shamari from Blatch. Drives by him with ease and then puts it in off the fingertips.
And a look of determination on the face of Al-Shamari that time. He was shooting 14% coming into this game. He's up to 28% this so far today, so I'm sure he'll see that as progress.
Actually 38% after that one. 3 of 8 from the field now, 6 points. Hontiveros looking for a 3, can't hit. Offensive ball for Norwood. Into Blatch now. Looking to get into the paint, looking to bulldoze his way through the defense, grabs his own rebound and puts it in with a foul.
And if this was junior basketball right now, they'd be asking to see Andre Blatch's birth certificate, because he was a man amongst boys in there. 3 defenders around him. But but it didn't matter. He finished it off.
He was only 1 of 7 from the field before that finish. Gets to the line to try and add the extra 1. 21 points and 12 boards in the shot defeat on game day 1. Although 7 of 18 from the field, and a more efficient 17 points yesterday, 6 of 11 from the field, along with 8 rebounds.
And 7 3-point attempts in that opening game. He's only had 2 so far tonight. More of a focus of him being inside.
And he only hit 1 of those 7 as well. It was the first one. Hook shot off the mark. Philippines grab the rebound. Castro quick down court and a travel call.
And a rare mistake from Castro so far today. It's one of those things when you move that quick, you see those really steady point guards who are all about change of pace and change of direction. Castro's fast, he's straight ahead, and occasionally things go wrong when you're traveling at that pace.
Hassan. Over to Borhama. And it goes to El Shamari. 3 really young players combining. And we've got a foul.
And Kuwait come into this tournament, they knew they weren't going to win a medal, and it's good that they've brought a young team. They're looking to the future. It's baby steps. We've seen India making some baby steps over the last few tournaments. They were impressive today. They ran out of legs late, but I guess that's a template for Kuwait to try and get their team up to a higher level than they are right now.
We talk about the Philippines having the oldest roster in the competition. As Kuwait turn the ball over, their average age only 24. Bring a young team here, having failed to qualify for the last 2 tournaments, so the progression is already there. Here's Norwood, moved on to De Ocampo. And another turnover for the Philippines.
And just harking back to that previous point, we talk about Abu Dom, just 22 years of age and a very natural talent. He only had 5 shot attempts in the first half. He made 3 of them. And it didn't look like the Philippines could really defend him when he had the ball in hand. Yeah, he's dangerous on the drive. He's got the jump shot. I'd like to see him in the ball game and being more aggressive.
Borhama, the 21-year-old, moved on to the 18-year-olds. And then inside Al-Jamar was looking to attack. Not to the floor, though, and the Philippines come in transition. Here comes Blatch, able to get it to go.
Well, that was like a truck traveling at 100 kilometers per hour and then performing a 3-point turn. I don't think Blatch was expecting that ball, but what a soft touch off the glass to finish the job.
4 minutes of the second half played. The lead has grown to 36. Moved on to Hassan, who puts it up from the corner. Half finish, and here comes Castro. Over to the far side, the 3 is good, right on the money for Dondon Hontiveros.
And that's exactly what it is. If he gets left open, more often than not, it is money.
Hassan. Now Saeed. Borhama. The offense slowed down. 5 seconds left to shoot. Across to the far side. They're going to have to take a shot sooner rather than later, and they don't get it away in time. A shot clock violation. Castro again turning on the afterburners and finishing.
Well, the debate is he the best point guard in Asian basketball? After the 2013 championships, many people thought he was. You know, as others think that Mahdi Komrani from Iran is still the general who leads the way, but certainly, hopefully we get to see those 2 matching up a little later in the tournament.
Certainly making a statement today. That one off the mark from Borhama, but all the way to the rim and then missed the layup. Blatch. And the foul on Borhama. His 4th personal, so disappointment all round for him after the missed layup at the other end. And the change is coming.
Substitution for both teams from the room.
Mark Pingris into the game. Abueva 2. And so too this man, Sonny Toss, on court for the first time today. Pontiveiras, toss setting the screen, moving inside, receiving it in the paint, blocked off, but able to put it in.
Nice move from the boss. He caught the ball inside. He's lacked a little bit of composure in earlier games, but he uses the pivot foot, soft with the left hand, and gets the finish.
He scores about 10 seconds after coming onto the court. Al Said. The three is short. The rebound grabbed by Abueva. Looking to burst into the paint. There's the boss again. 4 points inside about 30 seconds on court.
Well, they're going to change his nickname from the boss to the microwave if he keeps this up, because he's heated up very quickly coming off the bench. And for me, for Kuwait, it's Abu Dom time. Get him into the game, see what he can do.
Hassan over to the near side to Al Said. Into the low post, spin towards the basket. What a pretty move that is from Al Hamidi. Houdini move.
We talked earlier in the game, there's some nice individual talent in this Kuwait team. Yeah, we saw Malaysia yesterday, they had a little bit of individual talent, but this Kuwaiti team's a level above that, and the next step is then to put that into a system where they can use that talent at the right times and from the right spots.
The Filipino lead is 43 now. And they're looking to extend that here with Castro again shooting from the outside, long this time. And there's a foul here on Abu Dom.
And Abu Dom, in fact, I think it may have been Hassan.
Indeed, yeah.
Hassan and Toss just getting caught up on the box out for
He's
that
fouled
rebound.
out, Hassan. The 18-year-old fouled out with still 13.5 minutes to play.
He's a little bit unlucky there, you know, arms just got tangled in the rebounding contest. And that's disappointing from a spectator's point of view, because it'd be good to see what else he could do for the rest of the game.
Thrown straight into the hands of Al Said, who's then fouled by Abueva.
I think it's been called an unsportsmanlike foul.
Second personal unsportsmanlike foul.
It's more reminiscent of a football tackle than a basketball challenge. I think sometimes there's a little bit of confusion with that rule, and we saw Abueva pointing ahead saying there's a defender further up the court from me, but you know, the rule states you still have to be making a play at the ball. You've got to make a basketball play. On that occasion, he was just reaching out, trying to slow the fast break, and I'd love to see the referees in these tournaments be a little stricter on that so we get to see a little bit more fast break action.
The referees are getting their message across here. 3.5 to play in the third. And the Philippines now over the foul limit. It's Al Said at the line, hits that one. 5 points in the game, only 1 of 5 from the field, but at the line 2 of 3 and make it 3 of 4.
Kuwait ball.
Abu Dom's going to have to run the point guard here. He's been playing off the ball a little bit, and we saw Bahama feeding him for those open jump shots. Bahama's on the bench, so let's see what Abu Dom can do with ball in hand.
Al Said. The right hand one to the left, gets between the defense but can't finish. And the Philippines will come down court here with Abueva. Free passage to the hoop for the fancy finish.
And Abueva, he's up to 10 points. It's been an energetic performance from him, and I think we'll see a little bit of that to come as this tournament progresses.
Al Said over to the far side. He just checks that's a 3. Al Hamidi, and then he knocks it down.
Al Hamidi just coming to life. He had that nice little up and under move before. Shows us his range from the perimeter.
Pontiveiras across to Pingris. Now Castro, and they'll turn it over. Offensive foul.
And Toss just going through the statistical categories at the moment. Points, rebounds, fouls.
Kuwait ball.
And he's relishing this opportunity. I'm not sure how many more minutes he's going to get once the second stage starts, unless there's foul trouble or an injury. So he's going to make the most of this opportunity.
And 4 points in each of the first 2 games, 5 rebounds yesterday. But Toss, along with those 4 points, he's got 4 points today. Abu Dom try and get closer into the basket here, and that one off the mark from Al Shamari.
And Al Shamari, he doesn't like settling for the jump shot, does he? Puts it on the ground. He loves going into the hole, loves drawing that contact. He's just got to work on finishing around the basket. He's not going to get the foul. He's got to make some of those shots go.
I mentioned he had an 0 of 10 shooting game in game 1, 3 of 11 here today. They put it in from the far side though, and he really is heating up. Al Hamidi, 7 points now. Abueva picked off by Al Hamidi. What a charge this is, but he can't finish.
Well, he's certainly come to life here in the second half.
Ontiveros with 3, nothing but net.
And when you're playing against a team like the Philippines, if you get a fast break opportunity, you've got to make the most of it, or it's coming back down your throat twice as fast the other way. Ontiveros, and we see from the corner, not this time for Al Hamidi.
So 7 quick fire points and then a couple of misses. He's calling for the ball again, still confident. Al Saeed clings on to it though. Shot clock down to 5. Al Saeed's going to go to work. Back to Al Jamar for the 3. And he misses as well, but an offensive board. And that time there is a simple finish for Abdul Rahman Al Shamari.
And Al Shamari up into double figures, I think now. I know he's still on 8. But his energy, I just love his energy. He's not the most fashionable basketballer on the court, but he never stops trying, and his mustache probably isn't the most fashionable thing on the court here today either.
Romeo from way outside, and they're shooting above 50% from downtown.
We talked earlier in the tournament, sometimes Romeo can have that love affair with the 3 ball, and if it's not dropping, it hurts his side. But tonight, and the first game, it's been connecting.
Now Shamari, final minute of the 3rd, looks to attack, and a couple of baskets for him. On to 10 points now. Romeo, lightning fast crossover, beautiful move.
That defender was stuck on the spot. He was completely fooled by the crossover, and Romeo finishes off the glass.
Abu Dom passes up the 3 this time. Al Hamidi, Abu Dom's going to take it on. And he will knock that one down. That's his 4th of the game from the outside. 16.6 seconds remaining in the quarter. The Philippines leading 87-48 over Kuwait. And we've got a timeout. $39 points, the lead for the Philippines over Kuwait. And they're looking to move through to the next round with real momentum. And this would knock Kuwait out of progression in the competition. Toss has come in and scored 4 points in this 3rd quarter. The Philippines will take the final shot of the quarter. Romeo's provided a spark as well. Really good performance from him. The pass fired into the paint, but they lose it this time. And they won't get a shot away in time, Kuwait. And that brings the 3rd quarter to a close, with the Philippines leading 87-48 behind 3 players in double figures, led by the 16 of Jason Castro, 12 for Romeo and 10 for Abueva.
And since that 33-1 run, the offense for Kuwait has looked a lot better. They scored 21 points that quarter. Their percentages still don't look great, but 34% from 3-point range, and a lot of that's to do with Abu Dom and the work he's done from outside. And you look at the turnovers, Kuwait had 7 at quarter time. They've only coughed up the ball 6 times since then, and that's another positive they can take out of the game to this point.
2 players in double figures for them, the 12 for Abu Dom off those 4 3-pointers out of 6 attempts. 10 points for Al-Shamari now, who's come alive in the second half, but Castro, the game's leading scorer, with 16. It's been another really impressive performance from him. There's Al-Shamari converting one of his 5 field goals. Lovely trail that time from Blatch to put it in. 8 points for him. There's still a group of Filipino players approaching double figures. They could have 6, maybe 7 in double figures by the end of this one, the way they're going. Agueva has 10. They've got 2 players on 9 points, another 2 on 8, and 3 already in double figures.
Again, Wailos yet to score, the only Philippines player yet to score. And we haven't seen a lot of him in this second half, so it may be that he's being rested. There might be a slight injury concern, because he was one of the keys in that run in the first quarter. It was his full court defense that sparked.
Start to the 4th quarter. Kuwait 48, Philippines 87 the score. And Kuwait will start with the ball. Abu Dom, their leading scorer. Almost picked off over on the far side by Pingris. Al Said rises to the basket, has it knocked away.
And Al Said, he's an intriguing athlete. He's got those long legs, he's got the spring. He just perhaps needs a little bit more polish in his game, but I like his approach. He gets it, he likes to knife into the gaps, he likes to elevate and challenge the defense.
Energetic and athletic.
And at 26 years of age, he's still got plenty of time left to make his mark on the international scene.
He's actually got a game-high 5 assists today. 8 points now, after that one bounces in, although just 1 of 6 from the field. Romeo. Move it in towards Pingris. Looking to back in and help create some space on the outside. Shot off the mark from Toss.
You see the Philippines there, they're still trying to execute their sets. So Baldwin's got them focused on the job at hand.
Al-Hamidi, who had a little points explosion in the 3rd quarter, can't hit that one. Agueva. Now Romeo. To the corner, JC Intel steps inside. Can't hit. Rebound secured by Kuwait. Abu Dom into Al-Jamar. Pirouetting around, trying to find somebody, instead taking on the long 2 and missing. JC Intel moves it straight into Toss, and he puts it in, now 6 points.
And again, a good sign for the Philippines. Their 2 deepest reserves there in Intel and Toss, just combining for a nice little finish.
Here is Al Said. Looking to use those long limbs again, get into the paint, and draws contact again. The foul on Toss.
And he's just got a nose for a driving lane. You saw he was going to the right. He sensed that Toss was trying to slide left to cut him off, and he changed direction quickly and drew the foul.
3rd foul on Toss. Second team foul on the Philippines, 90 seconds into the 4th. Al-Hamidi is going to inbound the ball, high up towards Al Said, caught by Al-Shamari instead, and he squeezes it in.
And he's just running himself into form tonight. He missed a few early shots, which continued his struggles early in the tournament, but he's just got better as this game has gone on.
Abueva onto Intel. Now Romeo. Backing in towards the paint. Pingris turning around, Abueva trying to force it up. A defensive stop for Kuwait. Al Said fouled by JC Intel.
The Philippines looking to use Pingris on the low block. I think against some of the more highly ranked opponents in the second round, I don't think he's going to be that target. I like to see them using him as a screening option out around the top of the key. Get him diving to the basket where it's a simple job of catch and finish or get up there for the offensive rebound.
Abu Dom. He's going to take on the three. Off the top of the backboard, misses that one. He was 4 of 6 from downtown before that. Long two here for the Philippines, knocked down by Matt Ganuelas.
And now every Philippines player has scored. I think you're going to have to get some medical help out to Al-Jamar because that little shake by Ramiro could have broken his ankles.
In towards Al-Jamar. He's not able to reel that one in, so Romeo will burst down court to finish. And 7:18 to play. We're going to have a timeout here. Pingris with the pass down court. Romeo with the pace and the burst to the rim and the simple finish.
And there's that dribble move from Romeo. It doesn't look overly complicated, but it's his ability to be able to do that at top pace. And it's so difficult for a defender to stay with someone moving at that speed who's changing direction.
It's a personal best in the tournament for him now. 11 points in each of the first 2 games, 14 here this afternoon, and having shot 7 of 29 from the field across the first 2 games, 5 of 9 here today.
It's been a fast break clinic from the Philippines, and it's their traditional style of play. They love to run, stun, and have some fun. They love to shoot three-pointers, and if their defense is forcing turnovers, they become a deadly proposition in the open court, and that's something that Kuwait found out in that first and second quarters.
Ganuelas is long two, making it all 12 Filipino players on the scoreboard. Their lead is 93-52 with 7 minutes remaining. Fast break points 14-0 in favour of the Philippines. Abu Dom heading inside, lost the handle on the ball and turns it over.
There's a nice move to the basket, just wasn't quite the connection at the end, but again, he's a young man. There's a lot of promise in front of him.
Tracy Intel. Put it by Pingris. Off the front rim, grabs his own rebound, but then throws it into the hands of Al-Hamidi. Moved on to the far side to Al-Shamari, who puts it up from the outside and puts it in. What a performance from Al-Shamari in the second half. He now has 15.
Well, all game we've seen him just relentlessly go at the basket, but he must be starting to feel good because he cocked that from three-point range.
Tracy Intel on the perimeter. Into Pingris. Waiting for movement around him. Turns to face the basket. Then back to the perimeter and has it knocked away. Shamari moves it on to Al-Hamidi over on the far side, knocked away. Romeo can go through the gears again up against the number 4 Abu Dom, and he gets fouled on his way to the rim.
So whenever Romeo gets the ball, you just sense something's going to happen. You know, he's got 2 gears flat out and even quicker. And, you know, we talked about the bench struggles for the Philippines in this first 2 games of this tournament. But we look at the bench points from today, 41 bench points for the Philippines to 22 for Kuwait. And it's been a change of approach. They've been more aggressive defensively, and then really looking to get out and run at every opportunity. And I think if this bench unit gets stuck in a half court, I don't think they're going to be able to tick the scoreboard over. But when they're out in the open court, they're probably as good as any reserve unit they'll come up against.
It's a good job that Jason Castro came along and took the nickname the Blur first, because Romeo would have perhaps had it otherwise. And here he comes again down court. There's the trail, bounce pass into Ganuelas, and he puts it in off the board.
Such unselfish play we've seen on so many of these fast breaks. The Philippines willing to give up an open shot to give one to their teammates.
Al-Jamar takes on the long 2 and hits. Al-Jamar hitting only his second field goal of the game. Romeo. Here they are in the half-court offense now. Let's see if they can create anything with Pingris. Romeo asking for it on the perimeter. Toss takes the long two instead and knocks it down.
And often we talk about high-low connection. That time into the low block, a screen from Dio Campo to open up the other big man Toss at the high post. An interesting twist on that play.
8 points for Toss now. It's 4 of 5 from the field. Al Said. Picked up by Abu Dom. Al Said shoots the 3 and hits the 3.
It's a heaving action, but it's effective. He's up to 11 points. And he's another one of the guards for Kuwait who's brought a lot of energy to this game.
Romeo, they just back off him in his own zip code and knocks it down. And he's 3 of 3 from the outside now, 6 of 10 from the field, putting those difficult shooting games behind him over the course of the first 2 games. And they reach 102 points, the Philippines, 19 for Romeo, and Kuwait call timeout.
It seems every day somebody's challenging the point scoring record for this tournament. We've got 4:20 to go. And the Philippines, the way they're getting out in the fast break and piling the points on, maybe they can threaten a run.
Great to see ball movement on the fast break, with players getting up court quickly, bringing each other into play. There's been plenty of that from the Philippines. Toss knocking down the long 2, 8 points for him in the game in the second half since coming in. And so many positives.
And the Philippines, they need 20 points in the final 4 minutes and 20 seconds to match Iran's effort from earlier today. We'll see if they can get it. They certainly haven't dropped off with their intensity defensively. We saw them just in a little matchup zone on the last possession, still trying new things. And now we've got Romeo up the court, putting a little bit of pressure on.
119 points for Japan yesterday, 121 for Iran today. What are the Philippines going to finish with here with 4 minutes to play? Al-Jamar for 3, off the mark for Kuwait. And talking about that Iran performance, we talked about how relentless they were, even with the huge margin, and how having players with those characteristics and that attitude is what you need to go all the way. We're seeing the same from this Filipino team here as well.
Yeah, that's spot on. And you know, we talked about basketball being about process. Doesn't matter if you're in front, you're behind. You've got to stick to the process, do what you're trying to do, possession after possession. And you've got to stick through that. When things are going well, when things are going poorly, keep executing until the momentum of the game comes back your way.
Certainly no signs that the Philippines are going to take their foot off the pedal. Still their ball, 7 seconds still to shoot. Fowler's Taulava received it. Third on Al-Jamar. And 2 fouls in quick succession on Al-Jamar. 4 now in the game.
And Al-Jamar would never be accused of being discreet with the way he plays his basketball. He's a big man, he's an aggressive man, and that's what he does when he's out on the floor. And early in the game, I thought he was quite impressive. He was defensively, he was the rock inside.
And the rock is Asi Taulava, who puts it in. And the 42-year-old now has 7.
So Abu Dom isolated at the top. I love this matchup with Romeo.
Abu Dom, and the screen set by Al-Jamar, back out to the outside to Al Said. Shot clock into the final few seconds. Abu Dom puts up the 3 from the corner, misses, but the offensive ball for Al-Jamar. Playing on those 4 fouls, turns around and misses the 2.
Kuwait's still playing this game out as well, committing fouls to slow the fast break. And often teams by this point of the game will say, we'll give you the fast break, you score, and let's get the ball back and try and score ourselves.
Not just committing fouls, but committing a foul that sees Yusuf Mohammed fouled out of the game. on 7 points off 3 of 6 shooting, 3 assists as well. An early seat for the 21-year-old. Romeo to the foul line, then further inside towards Taulava, who turns around and puts it in. 9 points now for Taulava.
And Romeo returned the favour at the other end. He wanted the one-on-one matchup with Abu Dom, and this time the no-look pass, he finds his teammate.
Al-Shamari, Al-Hamidi, 2.5 minutes to play, tries to spin, but spins into trouble. Al-Jamar picks it up. Out to the outside, shot clock down to 2. Al-Said puts it up and misses, and a rebound for Taulava. Romeo in towards Taulava, can't lay it up and in. Ganuelas on the follow, couldn't do the same. Abu Dom. Al-Hamidi driving down the baseline, back to Al-Jamar. Al-Said passed up the opportunity to shoot the 3, drives inside, lovely move.
Athletic finish from Al-Said. And I think something we've seen today a little more from Romeo is his passing game, his willingness to create. And I think with the athletes that are in this bench unit, that's something that's going to be important, because players like Ganuelas and Abu Ava, you know, even Norwood, you see him in at the moment with the bench unit, and Taulava, who you see him get under the basket. There's a player with the vision to find them when they're open. They can be effective.
Ganuelas towards Taulava, loses it, and they turn the ball over.
Unfortunately, it's his legs that were open that time, and it went straight through them.
2.5 minutes and just 4 points for the Philippines, so looks like they're not going to be able to challenge for that 121 points that Iran got earlier today. Only 95 seconds to play. Ganuelas knocked away here by Al-Jamar. Diligent play right until the end for Kuwait, and then a foul.
And that's an impressive hip and shoulder there from Gabe Norwood. He's giving up a lot of kilograms in that matchup with Al-Shamar, but he's knocked him clean to the ground. And that's a good hit. That could be a suspension in rugby league for a shoulder charge.
Great to see that kind of hustle from players at this stage of the game, with the score as it is, 106-64, the Filipino lead. Still only 3 players in double figures for them. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on 8 or 9 points. And I suppose that's a huge positive when you have players who can find an offensive rhythm, build a bit of confidence before the next stage, and all of them doing that here.
Yeah, and they've got 14 assists as a team. That surprises me. I thought it might be more than that. And they have shared the ball around. They got out on the fast break. Their big men have run hard because they've been rewarded with passes from the guards.
Al-Jamar on the perimeter, moves it to Al-Shamari, who's had a good second half. Looking to continue that here. Can't hit that one. Taulava grabs the rebound. 9 points and 9 boards now, and here he comes down court. Ganuelas looking to get it to go, grabs his own rebound.
And even when their centre's running the fast break, we still get 2, 3 extra passes.
De Campo to Ganuelas and to Norwood. They've got 5 seconds to get the shot away. Intel in the corner, goes into Taulava, looking to get the 42-year-old veteran into double figures. He misses them both. Given away to JC Intel, and this time he just takes over the Filipino firepower in full flow.
Where did that come from? He collected the steal and then elevated off 2 feet. We've got a foul off the ball here. It's a disqualifying foul.
An unsavoury finish to this one.
And Al-Hamidi has taken exception for something that happened out on the court. I'm not sure what it was.
And he's really not happy at all as he's being ushered away by his teammates here.
He thinks he copped an elbow perhaps, blood on his lip. He's right up in the face of the referee.
You can see the battle wound.
And the referee showing a lot of patience there. And that's an unfortunate sort of thing to happen in the final minute of this game, because it has been played in good spirits.
A 44-point ball game and only 46 seconds remaining of it. And Al-Hamidi is absolutely furious here and still having to be restrained by his teammates.
I didn't see anything untoward happen. It may have just been a stray elbow, and he's not aware of what's happened, but thankfully he's being let out of the building now. He's certainly a fiery customer. It's the way he plays his basketball, and perhaps just stepped over the line there.
9 points for Abdulaziz Al-Hamidi in the second half, 4 of 10 from the field, and a disqualifying foul in the final minute. And that gives us a delay to finishing this one.
And we're cleaning some blood off the court as well that's dripped from that cut lip of Al-Hamidi.
It was right down in front of us, but we didn't see anything happen until the explosion of players off the bench and the restraint for Al-Hamidi.
Tuilava taking the time just to take a selfie with a couple of lucky fans.
Get a few mementos, you can't blame him. I'm sure it must be his last Asia Championship, so will he go on till 44?
Would you write him off? Maybe he'll like the new challenge with the new calendar system coming in from 2017 all around the world, qualifying for the FIBA Basketball World Cup. For those who don't know, a new home and away format where in windows in September, November, February and May we'll have teams playing home and away basketball, trying to qualify for the flagship event.
Timeout for Kuwait then with 46.4 seconds to play. There's the foul trouble. Mohammed fouled out, Hassan fouled out, and the disqualifying foul for Al-Hamidi. They've got 3 players in double figures. Al-Shamari with a very positive second half, 15 points for him, 7 of 17 from the field, 13 for Al-Said. We've admired his athleticism, and 12 for Abu Dom. We've admired his three-point shooting, and this is the incident that's led to the disqualification of Al-Hamadi. This was the fast break for Tuilava.
Not sure if we caught the aftermath of it, but perhaps a little low blow there from Al-Hamidi. And I don't know if that was the instigation or the reaction. Thankfully, we're back underway now. Gunwalis at the free throw line.
He gets the first. And the Philippines have 110.
And getting back to that new calendar format, luckily there's some people with greater knowledge than me in the building. Those windows are actually November, February, July and September. There'll be around 1,200 qualifying games around the world as teams look to book their place in the 2019 FIBA Basketball World Cup.
And Waylas just running out the clock with a 22-second differential. Happy just to take his time. It's been a delayed finish to this one because of that incident involving Al-Hamidi. And happy just to run it all the way down for a shot clock violation.
Almost a peace offering there from Gunwalis. I don't think either team wanted the game to finish on that note. We see the coach from Kuwait just shaking hands early.
And that's the end of the line in this group for Kuwait. A big defeat by as many as 46 points here to the Philippines, who hit 110 and move into the second round with real momentum, firing on all cylinders. 4 players in double figures, led by the 19 points of Terence Romeo, who was 3 of 3 from the outside, and 16 for Jason Castro, 5 of 8 from the field in just 19 minutes on court. 2 big performances for them. They spread the scoring around and they win it 110-64 over Kuwait.
Well, an outstanding performance from the Philippines. They shot 56% from inside, 56% from outside. They pulled in 51 boards, 18 at the offensive end. They dished out 14 assists, but their passing game was even more impressive than that. 10 steals and 4 blocks as well. And the Philippines launch themselves into the second round, which starts on Sunday. As you said, Romeo with 19, Tao Lava with 10 rebounds and a whole bundle of energy off the bench. You see Castro with 10. Abu Ava was impressive with 10. Abu Dom with 12. I think he was our favourite on the Kuwaiti side, with his ability to create his own shot and shoot from the perimeter.
You've only seen the 3 top scorers for both teams there. Doesn't tell the whole story for the Philippines. They had 9 players with 8 points or more. And that's a great sign for moving forward in the tournament into the second round. For those players feeling confident, you never know who might need to step up at any given time.
Yeah, and their willingness to share the basketball. They're a close-knit group, and you saw it at the defensive end tonight as well. I think in the first 4 or 5 minutes, and we see some great defense there, but it was Kuwait bringing the defensive intensity. But once Tab Baldwin got his team into gear defensively, things changed. They created their offense from there, and they were a juggernaut that Kuwait just couldn't stop.
They started relatively strongly, Kuwait, but that 33-1 run was the key in blowing the game wide open. Has to be perhaps the most impressive run of the tournament so far from the Philippines. And like Iran earlier on, showing that they're willing to keep their foot firmly on the pedal all the way until the end of the group stage and moving forward with real momentum, and one of the key challenges for a medal here in Changsha.
Yeah, and that's a great point, because in these early games, you know, they knew they were going to beat Kuwait today. They knew something special would have to happen for them to lose. But you can develop bad habits when you're winning by big margins, and I didn't see any sign of that, you know, on the court today.
Asi Taulava only 1 point away from a double-double. 3 of 6 from the foul line. He'll perhaps be kicking himself a little bit that he didn't add one more of those. 9 points and 10 rebounds for him, and the Philippines win it 110-64.